YouTube, what's going on? You know, I'm back with another reaction video. Let's watch this video and I'm gonna chop it up with you guys real quick.
Some interesting points about the crime statistics in the African American community. You think crime and poverty are intrinsically linked?
Not always, but they could be directionally close to each other. For example, poor Asians are not necessarily more likely to commit crimes than a poor black person.
Okay. Do you think there's systematic functions in place that prevent African Americans from moving upward?
No, does not exist.
You don't think so?
No.
You don't think they've ever enforced any policies or any actions?
Maybe 40 or 50 years ago, but nothing in our lifetime, not even close.
I would say in our lifetime, right? Within our
That's a big deal, though,
our last
right?
20 decades, our last 2 decades, right? We've had a lot of opportunities for upward mobility, right?
And for whatever reason,
but at a systemic
it hasn't
level,
worked.
But at a systemic level, there's a history of prejudice within the American system against African Americans and black people.
But there's also historic systemic bias against Asian Americans and Jews. It hasn't held them back.
Yeah, but I'm not talking about them.
No,
right?
but it's important to compare.
Definitely has a point there. What you got to remember as well, as a black man as well, I'm gonna talk for myself, right? We got to remember that other race has history the same as our race has history as well. As in, like, you know, other race has gone through things in their history that can define their mindset, you know, moving forward. Like how we have gone through certain things in our history that can define our mindset as well. But I want to keep it 100 with us lot, yeah? And I'm going to talk to the blacks right now, yeah? I want to keep it 100. We didn't go through slavery, right? We have never been through slavery ourselves, like especially me, right? You as well have never been slavery as well. So it's like you can't use things that you've never gone through to define where your future is at. Do you understand? Does that make sense? Because that's not even your trauma. You haven't been whipped in the back like that. You feel what I'm saying to you? Even though I know it was a traumatic situation with slavery, understood that, bro, real shit. But I haven't been whipped in my back before. So I can't use that same analysis to be like, oh, this is the reason why we're moving forward because of what happened to us in slavery days. You know what I mean? Like, look at the Holocaust, right? They went through fuckery. That's what I'm saying to you, like, gas chamber. You feel what I'm saying to you? Like, crazy shit. Look at Asia. You know, when Asia went through the war with the United States, where the United States, you know, released a nuclear bomb in Asia, right? Bro, wiped out nearly your whole nation, right? You understand, like, that's traumatic as well in their history as well. And look at how they flourish in terms of technology, in terms of, like, infrastructure. You feel what I'm saying to you? You look at places like Afghanistan, you know, Palestinians, you know, every race has their own traumatic history, but doesn't mean that should define, you know, your future at the end of the day. You feel what I'm saying to you? So I just wanted to put that out there to a lot of brothers that, you know, be stumbling in this type of mindset of, like, you know, systematic racism and all of that nonsense, yeah, right? Don't get it twisted. They are ignorant people out here that still looks at this color of the skin, right? 100%. There is racism as well. Like, I generally feel like there's racism out there where, you know, there's gatekeepers. Let's say gatekeepers, and there's a lot of nepotism as well, right? Who you know. But at the end of the day, it doesn't mean that's going to stop you from achieving what you need to achieve in life. That just means that you don't have to fuck with them because they don't fuck with you, so you don't have to fuck with them. You feel what I'm saying to you? So you have the free will and the freedom to be able to have that choice to do that. You feel what I'm saying to you? So let me just put that out there to a lot of brothers out there, you know, that's still sleeping with, you know, you got to remember as well. You got to remember, I made a video about someone like Dr. Umar Johnson, you know, the race hustling. You know, the race hustler, should I say. Those people, you know, they capitalize off sleeping blacks that like to think that the white supremacists, right, is holding them back. So you have people like Dr. Umar Johnson. There's another guy, but I forgot his name though. But, like, you guys will probably know him. They use this white supremacists a lot to, you know, trick a lot of sleeping blacks' mind to make them, you know, fill them with anger. You know what I mean? Why? Because they want to sell something to you. Say whether they want some donation, you know, for some school that will never be built, or they want some donation to educate other more blacks about the situation. You know, like, it's called race hustling. You feel what I'm saying to you? So They're one of the most number one problem in the black community as well. You know, that add to the fuel to the fire. You know what I mean? But
why is it that it held blacks back but not Asians or Jews?
So I'll answer that. So Jews, well, let me speak about Asians. As a model minority, right? They've had more opportunities for upper mobility.
How?
Well, in terms of getting business loans, setting up in different neighborhoods.
Well, there was a lot more anti-Asian discrimination in California than anti-black discrimination in the 40s and 50s.
So you agree 100% that African Americans have getting the same opportunities?
No, I'm not. Look,
as far as redlining goes,
groups are sometimes treated poorly, whether or not you're able to overcome that.
And with redlining as well, like that's a United States thing, because most of you guys might not understand what redlining is. Redlining is basically there's certain things in the map in a certain states area where a lot of investors are not going to invest in that area, right? So that makes the area, you know, kind of like lose out in business opportunities in terms of investors, right? So redlining is like, okay, you don't want to spend your money in this area, and majority of those people that live in those areas are the blacks. Make sense? Or people that's going through poverty. So it's like an area. Okay, let's say it like this, yeah, for some of you lot that needs to understand what redlining is. I'll talk about the UK. Say, so we have London. We have a London map, right? And all around London map is green line, right? And let's say there's certain locations in London, let's just say Peckham, for instance, yeah, or Hackney, for instance, yeah, they're gonna make a red box around those areas where it's like, if you want to invest your money, don't go there and invest your money, because it's like you're not gonna get your return back. So that's what redlining is. That's what the terms of redlining is in the United States. You feel me? But you know, it's not like that in the UK. You know, there's houses that's worth $1 million in Peckham. You feel what I'm saying? So you go down Dulwich, £1 million houses. You feel what I'm saying? So that's just third terms, isn't it, for some people that want to understand what redlining is.
That is the question. Number two.
So treated poorly doesn't cover it. I have a couple things. I have a couple lines right here. So we have the Tulsa Massacre of 1921, right?
Yeah,
where African Americans established a black. Well, they established a Black Wall Street, right? And that was taken down. We have the Black Panthers.
How does that impact
in San Francisco?
How does that impact you?
Well, I'm saying there's a history.
And another thing is what he's talking about, the Black Wall Street is basically like, you know, there's a bunch of black in a certain area in the States. They were developing well. They had black school, black banks, you know, black businesses, you know, easy for someone that's black to get loans from the bank because it's owned by someone that's black. You know what I'm saying to you? Yeah, there was bummed, you know what I mean? You know, that city was bummed. Black Wall Street was bummed, and it was like it was a terrible situation where it happens, you know what I mean? Because that kind of set back a lot of generations, you feel me? But I feel like that was more of a politic kind of move, you feel what I'm saying to you? So it's like, you know, it shouldn't really define who you are as a person. It's a history, it's part of a history. Like I said to you, every race has a history. Okay, for instance, right? This happened in the States, right? Black Wall Street happened in the States where, like I said to you guys, they got bombed, the city got bombed, and a lot of people lost their homes, their businesses, and all of that, right? But let's look at the Red Indians in the United States. They got wiped out. They got killed. You know what I mean? They got wiped out. They got killed. And there's still Red Indians to today, right? So you don't see them, you know, saying, man, this is what happened to our people, you know, having the victim mindset. They're still getting on with it. They still have, you know, they're still about family. They're family orientated. They still understand the importance of sticking together as family and uniting together and still prospering in the future as well. So I just want you guys to understand as well that even though the blacks did go through some traumatic experience in the States, so was the Red Indians went through traumatic experience in the States as well, and other cultures as well that's probably not even named more than the blacks. Does that make sense? So just to put that out there as well, you know?
I'm trying to establish a link here.
No, but I think, again, that you're trained to do this in the college. It has no bearing on whether or not you can make good decisions or not.
Well,
right?
College has no impetus on my thinking. This is
No,
organic.
I know, but I reject the whole premise. You are not a creature or a victim of what happened 104 years ago. You're your own being with your own agency, your own ability to make decisions of right or wrong.
And I agree to not subscribing to a victim.
And you see, I agree on that as well. Like I was just saying the same thing as well. It's like, whatever happened 100 years ago had nothing to do with you. You feel me? It's just the fact that, you know, you came into this world with the same skin color as what happened to some people like 100 years ago. But really and truly doesn't really have nothing to do with you. You feel what I'm saying to you? It doesn't mean that's going to stop you from getting to where you need to get to in life. You feel me? Especially living in the times like this where it's so easy to gather information real quickly. You feel what I'm saying to you? So this is where the victim mindset comes in. You feel me? Like, this is where it's like, look at it like this, yeah? If I told someone that's fat, bro, you're fat, you need to go gym, right? And the person turns around and said to me, oh, well, bro, like, you know, it runs in my family, you know, everyone in my family is fat. You feel me? So, like, it's just a thing where I can't help it. Well, that's a lie. Because whether if you change your diet, if you change the way you think, if you get up, go to the gym every day in the morning, probably you be the only person in your family that's fit, slim, and looking good, right? Because you changed your mindset, right? You didn't let whatever your family went through in terms of how they handled their diet define who you are. My background is Nigerian, right? They love their palm oil, egusi, jollof rice, everything that has oil in it. Does that mean that I have to intake on that every day, bro? Even though I know that's bad for my health? Regardless if that's part of the culture, no, I can choose to do something else. I might want to live longer, be healthier, be slim. You know what I mean? Look good. I don't want to be eating that all the time. Occasionally, I might dibble and dab in some culture food, probably once a month, or probably once every 2 months. But don't mean I have to indulge in that just because where my background come from, they indulge in that every day. Does that make sense? So you are who you are and what you do. You feel what I'm saying to you? So you got to look about, you got to ask yourself, like, what do I want to get out of life? And what is this life got to offer for me? You feel what I'm saying to you? Then actually saying, you know what, the reason why I'm here is because this and that and that. No, the reason why you're there is because you chose to make the choice to be there. And it's as simple as that. You feel me?
And taking accountability for your actions.
I don't think any of that plays into your current status.
You don't think so at all?
No.
Can you list more reasons as to why?
Yeah, the number one problem with Black America is the fact that dads are not around. Not the fact.
If bro's lying, right? If he's lying, if he's telling a lie, right? Put that in the comment section. Let me know if he's lying. What the number one reason why blacks are going through poverty, right? And discrimination and all of that, yeah, it's because the fathers are not in the household. When the father is not in the household, everything's gonna crumble. Do you understand what I'm saying to you? Every single thing is gonna crumble. This young man here, I kind of rate him a bit. He's smart. I like the way he conducts himself. I like the way he articulates himself. He's a very smart man. And by looking at him and listening to him talk, I reckon he's got both parents in his household, 100%. I can just tell when a kid has both parents in the household. They're more calm. You know, they know how to deal with their emotions. They know how to navigate, you know, answers and questions, you know, and they know most especially they know how to articulate themselves without getting upset and getting frustrated and know what a debate is. Somebody that doesn't have a father figure in the household and they're quite young, you're going to see they don't know how to control their emotion. They're going to wig out. They're going to want to crash out. Why? Because there's not a father there to tell them, yo, young man, you don't need to do it like that. You know, this is how you do it. Not every chess move you got to take straight away. You can be patient, wait, think, and then come back to it. This is what fathers, men, can bring to their kids. But if the man is not in the household, everything's going to crumble.
And that's enforced by the government.
No, it's not.
I would say on an individual basis, there's different programs that stop.
Two out of three black youth did not have a dad around.
Yeah, there's a crack epidemic. CIA moved crack into the hood. We went into different hoods in Los Angeles community.
Yeah, but you have to still choose to do drugs. So, like, the point is you're a victim of your choices, not your circumstances. That's what makes us conservatives different.
I think you're removing culpability from people, but I agree with the accountability.
We believe choices are what determine what you're in, not what's around you.
Yeah, so, your choices inform your environment and your outcomes. I agree with that.
Yeah, so then if people choose to do crack cocaine and therefore your kids don't have a dad around, that's your own choice. If you choose to commit crimes and you're in prison, that's your own choice.
Facts. Yeah, I'll tell you something, guys, yeah? Before you see this new version of me, you know, this new David is me, David was once a bad breed. Why? Because I never had my father in my household, right? I was living with my mom. She's a single parent. You feel me? Her emotions, she didn't know how to deal with her emotion, plus because she's a woman and she was a single parent anyway. And at the end of the day, guys, yeah, like, I didn't understand what I was doing was wrong until I got older and I had to pay the price for what I was doing, right? I thought I was smarter than everyone else. Didn't understand that you needed patience to be able to, you know, scale something that you're interested in, right? Things don't come straight away. The instant gratification is what a lot of these youth want today, right? And that's kind of a female mindset. You feel what I'm saying? As a man, we know that we need to sweat, build, and we should enjoy the process. You know what I'm saying? Enjoying the process is way more better than the success. The success is boring. Like I always say this, guys, success is boring because you got to keep doing the same thing every day. So that's boring. But the process to get to success is the beautiful part, because that's what builds character. The people that you meet along the way, the journey is what's more important, right? For instance, like my missus that's in my life right now, I like the journey, you know what I mean? To, you know, from where we was at to where we at now, you know, the journey is what I appreciate, you feel me? So when the success is there, it's cool, it's a bonus, but the journey is what I appreciate. So when you don't have a father in your house to break those type of things down, especially to a young man, you are going to make silly mistakes that you didn't have to make if you had someone there to tell you, no, you don't need to do that. You know, let's transition your energy to something else that's way more positive, that's going to benefit you long term. You feel what I'm saying to you? So you got to understand this here, like, as a youth, right, you are going to make so much mistakes. Some mistakes can cost you your life. That's what I'm saying to you. Some mistakes can cost you your freedom, right? Some people like myself were fortunate enough to go through those mistakes and learn from my experiences to make us a better version of ourselves. And those experiences that I have right now, I can pass that down to my kids, right? Well, because my kids are around me, you know, my child is around me, so I can pass those information to my kids, so my kids doesn't make those type of mistakes as well, so he can be a best version of himself. Forget about whatever racism that's going out there. I will teach him how to use his mind and how to make everything that he wants in his life manifest in his reality by just the way he thinks. The mindset, listen, the mind is not your friend, guys. The mind is not your friend. If you don't use your mind correctly, there's so many people that will use your mind for you. Yeah, remember that.
Yeah,
but no other community has had this problem. Why is Black America have this problem?
I think there's a direct link between the prison industrial complex and incarceration.
Well, but how does one get to prison?
And the profiling African Americans.
Well, hold on. But first of all, it's not a profiling when it comes to that. Blacks are far more likely to commit crimes than any other group associated. It's like 3 to 4 times more likely. It's not even close. So how is that?
Well, I'm not here to debate numbers because I don't have the numbers.
It's okay. When you get home, you can look at it. Black Americans are 13% of the population. They commit 55% of the violent crime.
A statistic I've heard before.
Right.
And I don't have the numbers.
It's fine. You can independently fact check it later. I don't anticipate you to have it off the top of your head. But why is that?
I don't have a direct answer.
I know. That's what I want you to think about it. And I'm not going to put you on the spot. Here's our answer. It's easy and tempting to say systemic racism, redlining, right? All that, or you could say, maybe it's because dads aren't around, because dads being. It's not a cultural expectation.
I think our cultural expectation is for African Americans to stand with their families.
Community anymore. It's acceptable to have men impregnate women and flee. It's not a cultural expectation.
I think our culture.
I'm gonna disagree with that bit there. Yeah, I'm gonna disagree with that because I won't only talk for myself. You know, a lot of the time when, you know, especially a black man that's come from a broken home, has a kid, they really want to be there for the child. You know what I mean? They don't, like, men, not even black men, let's just say men. Men, we have this thing when we have a child, right? We genuinely love the child so much. You know what I'm saying? We want to be there for the child. But the problem is this year is that the person that you're choosing comes from a broken home majority of the time, right? So that person that you're choosing comes from the broken home and they've gone through poverty, right? So let's talk about the dangling carrots where, you know, there's a carrot that's dangled in the relationship where the female that comes from a broken home and poverty mindset will kind of stray towards the dangling carrot because she feels there's more security there. You have to remember, females today prefer security than anything else, right? And us men know that life is not security. There's no security in life because tomorrow anything can happen, right? But let's just keep it simple right now. So majority of girls that come from a poverty background, when you dangle a carrot in their eyes and say, listen, it's way more profitable for you to be single and we can give you this money, but you can't have this man in the household, right? Or you can take the risk to be with this man, right? And not know if you guys are going to make it or not. You feel what I'm saying to you? So a female that's never come from two parents' household, right? especially they've never had a father there that has the logic to tell her, yo, it's actually way more benefit to have the father in the house. So you have to look at it like this. 9 times out of 10, they're gonna go get the carrot. So the carrot is gonna be the, you know, the government funding, you know, was it food stamps or welfare, whatever it is in the States, but in the UK would be, you know, government funding, the benefit. They're gonna give you a council flat, they're gonna pay for that, but they're gonna tell you, make sure you ain't got no man living in the house. A lot of black women has been, you know, kind of swaying to that side. And majority of those black women that swaying to those side is because they've never had a father figure in the house. It's just a forever cycle that's been going on. You know what I mean? They've been chasing the carrot, not understanding the importance of a man in the household. This is one of the reasons why a lot of kids are going through, you know, prison, joining gangs, you know, murder, all these things because the mother chose the carrot instead of choosing the family and creating a family unity. That's what I'm saying to you. You got to understand the family unity is the most important thing. You have the family, you have the backbone, you feel me? You have the love, so you wouldn't really be out here catting for materialistic things because you already know that I got love where I'm at home. You know what I mean? So it's way more better than being outside. You feel me? So that's one of the reasons why there's a lot of broken home, because there's a lot of women that's choosing the carrot. And that's really it.
Natural expectation is for African Americans to stand with their families and increase, because there's a lot of evidence that shows when two parents are present in a household, they have a higher chance of their children succeeding.
I agree. Then why doesn't that happen?
Upward.
So why don't black dads stay around?
I think that's a progression in our community. I think that's a progression.
But
now,
why is
I'm
that
saying
happening?
that the reason that we're here is there's a lot of factors that led us to this point.
I don't but it's a decision that a black man can make. He's impregnated a woman, so he's not in jail. So he's like a free citizen. Why not stay with that woman and start a family?
And I'd say for the most part,
66% of the time,
we're moving in that direction.
It's getting worse, not better, actually.
And I'm going to leave it like that as well. I'm going to leave it like that, you know? I'm going to leave the full description of the video below in this, and then you guys can fully and just go watch it. And everything this guy is saying is true, apart from him saying that, you know, it's like a culture for black men to go out of their way to go impregnate a female and bounce. It's not that. That's not that thing, you know? I've never ever met a guy that doesn't want to be in the kid's life. What the problem is that men are more scared of the females they're pregnant in because they don't know if the females are going to take the fucking carrot. Do you know what I mean? It's the fucking carrot, bro. Like, they're dangling the carrot, and these females that's coming from broken homes. And you got to remember as well, as men as well, we have this type of soft spot to trying to fix things. Men have this, you know, like to keep a man, always make sure you give him some type of funny little task, like, babes, can you help me open up the jar? Or, babes, can you help? Like, we always want to fix things, and that means we always might want to fix a girl, but sometimes that could be a good thing, that could be a bad thing, right? But to say that, you know, guys are out here having kids and ducking out, like, you know, I don't know. I've never ever met guys like that. If you guys are, or any females that's out here that probably think there's a lot of guys like that, put that in the comment section. But for me personally, I feel like all men want to be in the kid's life, you feel me? I just feel like they just don't want to be in the life of the person, you know, they had the kid with, if I'm saying to you. But anyway, guys, I'm going to catch you guys in the next video. Make sure you subscribe and lock in. I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.